Okay, in part one, we're going to do this other example, and then in the counting, the rainfall counting for this example. And then in part two, we're going to solve it using Miner's rule, okay? So we have, let's start from here, because I think this is a good point to start from. I'm going to show you the rainflow counting method. So the first thing is I'm going to look at this segment right here. Is this segment bigger than the right side? It's not, so I'm going to count it in. So I'm going to shade it, and I'm going to shade the other one up to the same height. So I would see a bunch of rain build up in here. Now I already used the second segment, so I'm going to look at the third segment. Is that segment greater than the right one? It's not, so I'm going to count that one in. And I'm going to go all the way up to the same height, and I'm going to color it in. That's where the rain would build up. Then I have already used this segment again, so I'm just going to look at the next one, and I'm going to ask the same question. Is it bigger than the one on the right? It's not, so I'm going to count it in. And I can imagine that that would be the case for all iterations up till here. Now here, look at what happens here. So all of these, remember, we have to shade on the up side, so the valley right here. Now I'm going to ask the same question for this segment right here. Is that segment smaller than the one on the right? It's not, so I can't use it. So I'm going to color it red. I can't use this segment at the moment. So then I'm going to ask the same question on the other segment that is on our right. Is it bigger than the one on the right? Is this bigger than this? It's not, so I can color it in. But now where's the rainfall going to go? It's really not rainfall anymore. It's like a gas. And it's right here. It's trapped in here all the way to this segment. Now, I'm going to ask the same question. Pay attention here, is this segment bigger than the one on the right? It's not, so I can color it in, but when I color the next one, because it's bigger, I only color it up to where my first one ends, right? It's the rainflow method. Then this, I can't use it, so I'm going to color it red. Then I'm going to ask the same question. Is this segment bigger than the one on the right? It's not, so I can't use it. So I'm going to color this one red as well, right up till here. And then, once we do that, I'm going to ask the same question for that one on the right. And I see what? I see that the segment on the right, this segment, is smaller than that one, right? So I can color it in. So let me use a different color. I'll use this yellow. And I'm going to say, color it in only up till here, right? So here it is. Now we're back in the valleys. And I can't use this little portion right here. Then we noticed that did we get back to our starting point? Well, let's see. We went a little bit over. Yes, we did, right? Because we didn't do this part here, but we did it over here. So we're going to stop now. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to fill out this table. How many colors do you see? Well, I see orange, green, yellow, and red. So I see 4 colors. So I know there's going to be 4 cycles. And so let's start from the orange one. We're going to call that 1. The green one, we're going to call that 2. And then the yellow, we're going to call that 3. That's a bad 3. 3. And then the red, we're going to call that 4. I've heard that not a lot of people like my 4. They just don't understand it. And now my pen doesn't work. 4. There you go. So now we're going to say how many how many spaces did I color in the orange? Well, 1, 2, so I colored this one. I colored this one, this one, this one, this one, all the way. So like 1, 2, 3, 149, 150. So I colored 150 of those. So 150. What is the minimum that they reached? Well, right here, they reached 200 MPa. What is the maximum that they reach? They reach 800 MPa. We're going to do the same for the green. So the green is going to be right here. What is the minimum that they reach? Well, the minimum that they reach is minus, oops, that's the wrong cell, minus 300. And then the maximum that they reach is 600. And how many did I color? 1, 2. And so here I'm going to write 2. And then let's see, how many yellows did I color? 1. And what is the minimum? Well, this one right here, minus 200. Maximum, well, the maximum is right here. That's 700. 700. Now, this is the one that trips me up at least. So we go down from the top. If we had to draw this as a single cycle, we would go, because you see how you could move this little piece around here, and you could go all the way down to the min, and then you could move this big piece around here, and then you could go all the way to here, and then you could move this piece around, and you would have a single cycle, and then you could color that in. Well, we would call that a one cycle that goes from a minimum right here of minus 400 to a maximum of 800. Maximum of 800. And then once we have that, we can find the amplitude and the average for each. So the amplitude is going to be the max minus the min, so 800 minus 200, which is 600, divided by 2, 300. The average is going to be the sum divided by 2, so 1,000 divided by 2, that's 500. Then we switch color. Colors are essential. 600 minus negative 300 is 600 plus 300, which is 900, divided by 2 is 450, and then the average is 600 plus minus 300, which is 300, divided by 2, that's 150. And then we go down the list, so we look at the yellow one. 700 minus negative 200 is 700 plus 200, which is 900. 900 divided by 2 is 450. And then 700 plus minus 200 is 500, divided by 2 is 250. And then finally we have one more, and that's going to be 800 minus negative 400, which is 800 plus 400, which is 1,200, divided by 2, it's 600. And then 800 plus minus 400, which is 400, divided by 2, that's 200. Whew, a lot of mental math. Hope I did it right. And then we'll see part 2. We'll use an Excel for part 2. I'll see you there.